E.N.D here. It's not the first time that on social media, Facebook, Reddit, Twitter, blogs, etc., someone starts to heavily complain and demand the removal of the reserve list, the list of magic cards that will never be reprinted. Main reason being, obviously, the high cost of certain cards. Last happened a couple of weeks ago, and I have already discussed this in a separate video, where a certain player going by the name of Not So Foden asked directly Mark Rosewater on his blog talk if there are any hope of a future removal of the reserve list, and Mark Rosewater's answer was straight and without any doubt: no chance of a future removal. He also stated that all of us will be mentally happier if we accept the fact that it will never happen. I always sustained, and even though I am aware that it goes against the wish of the majority of the community, that the reserve list will never go away. It's not that I'm in favor, or I have a vast amount of reserve list cards that don't wish to see their value go down. You know me well. I don't focus on buying single cards, I prefer sealed products. It's because, from a business point of view, and being in the shoes of Wizard of the Coast executives, removing the reserve list doesn't make any sense for the company or its parent company Hasbro, because abolishing the reserve list will not solve the problem. It will create more, far more problems. Let me elaborate and discuss. Let me start with the first problem: trust. The reserve list is a promise made by Wizard of the Coast to collectors back in 1996 and later converted into official reprint policy that cards on the reserve list will never be reprinted again. And even though there was a small clause, which later in 2010 was also removed, that reserve list cards could be reprinted in special premium exclusive products, like for example from the Vault, and that's why we got a new shiny version of Mox Diamond and Phyrexian Negator, both cards on the reserve list, and both got a reprint thanks to this particular clause. But don't worry, this have been removed. Now, would you trust someone, or in our case a company, that doesn't stick to their word, that break their promises? Would you? Come on, would you trust a such company? I wouldn't trust it. And once you lose this trust of someone or something, it's very hard to gain it again. Wizard of the Coast did a lot of U-turns. Just to mention something very recent, the masterpieces, or better known lottery cards in every standard set, which after disaster of Amonkhet and our devastation, masterpieces were discontinued. I am sure that if Wizard of the Coast breaks this particular promise, it will result in serious repercussion and loss of revenue, apart from the number of lawsuits that the company may face. Second problem: product and price. So let's imagine a scenario where the reserve list is abolished and Wizard of the Coast is preparing the launch of a new product which will have newly reprints of reserve list cards. In which products you will choose to add these cards? Standard sets, draft booster boxes, set booster boxes, collector booster boxes, commander sets, legends, pre-constructed decks, master sets, secret layers, etc. In which products you are going to add reserve list cards, and at what price? Don't tell me that you will engineer, let's say, a reserve list master set, or a reserve list commander legends, or a new little Power 9 secret layer box, and the price will be the current standard prices. With the MSRP gone, there is no way that the price will be low, and even though I'm sure print run will be high, it will not be unlimited. Therefore, demand will be higher than supply and prices will skyrocket. What happens when the price skyrocket? More players will complain, leave, and more loss of revenue. Third problem: which cards to print? Because there's a big difference in reprinting the Power 9, Black Lotus, Ancestor Recall, the Moxes, the Dual Lens, the high-end commander cards, Gears Cradle for example, or reprinting Narwhal, Elven Lair, the low-end cards with very few value that no one wants. So, if you choose to reprint the reserve list low-value cards, which, contrary to popular belief, there are quite a good number out there, everyone will start to complain again, leave, and loss of revenue. If you reprint the high-end, high-value reserve list cards, everyone will start to complain again, because still these will be expensive, especially if printed in special premium expensive sets at mythic rarity. Therefore, it's a lose-lose situation for Wizard of the Coast. To conclude, if I'm executive decision maker at Wizard of the Coast and I have to decide on one hand to abolish the reserve list and risk a lot, or on the other hand to not abolish the reserve list and keep everything as is, I will choose the latter, not to abolish the reserve list and keep it as it is. There are far more risks to my business without the reserve list than with the reserve list. At the end of the day, business is about mitigating and reducing risk in the goal of maximizing profit, and I believe Wizard of the Coast is doing a good job with these new products: set and collector booster boxes, commander sets, decks, universes beyond, and especially secret lair drops. Leave me a comment below. If you worked at Wizard of the Coast, would you remove or keep the reserve list? And as always, here is the subscription button. Subscribe for my channel for more and more interesting videos about Magic the Gathering and the collectible world.